He has warmed up the crowd at a Coldplay concert in India, addressed the Indian diaspora at Madison Square Garden,
bending to the right side,
and stretched his hands toward the sky in a famous yoga move to raise his country's global cultural profile. Narendra Modi has emerged as India's most domineering leader in a generation, sweeping away challengers and executing a radical plan to spur the economy and root out graft and corruption. But now that plan and his forceful leadership style are facing their first major test in local elections, pitting the Prime Minister against an array of challengers. Modi took power in 2014 after a campaign in which he used holograms of himself to appear in different places at the same time. Indian voters gave him a mandate to change a country stuck in political paralysis for decades. This is what happened in November, when literally overnight he voided nearly 90% of the cash circulating in India's economy. For weeks, tens of millions of Indians lined up at banks to deposit and exchange cancelled cash.
We have decided.
Modi planned the move in secret, briefing his cabinet just 20 minutes before he told the world in a pre-recorded TV address.
The 500 and 1000 rupee notes will become just worthless piece of paper.
His action affected some 1.2 billion people. In this highly cash-dependent society, many struggled to pay for food and businesses had to shut down. But the Prime Minister argued that the long-term benefits in increased tax revenue and greater use of digital payments would outweigh the harm. In another abrupt decision that surprised even his lieutenants, he phoned the Prime Minister rival Pakistan to wish him a happy birthday, and then decided the same day to visit him in person, becoming the first Indian Prime Minister to do so in over a decade. But a series of run-ins between the armies of the two nuclear powers at the disputed border have since halted rapprochement entirely. Modi's controversial political career has roots in Hindu nationalism. His stint as a can-do chief minister in the state of Gujarat was marred by religious riots in 2002 that killed hundreds of people, most of them Muslims. Modi denied accusations that he didn't act to quell the violence and was later exonerated by the courts. Today, critics still accuse his BJP party of encouraging religious intolerance and discrimination against Muslims, something it denies.
One voice.
Modi touts successes such as India's world-beating economic growth. To reduce absenteeism and make the government more productive, he has ordered hundreds of thousands of bureaucrats to check in and out of work with fingerprint scanning devices. But many other ambitious plans, such as expanding broadband internet, modernizing irrigation, and building smart cities, are still far from reality. Voters in this latest round of state assembly elections will decide whether that is good enough. Unless Mr. Modi's BJP can win control of more state legislatures, the opposition could be emboldened to block more of the Prime Minister's legislative agenda.